We are back at it again here with another video with the Invest for Tomorrow. To all the first time viewers and investors, welcome to the channel. To all subscribers, welcome back. Here we are with the SPY, the SP 500 index, doing a full transition here from the dip area of white with red borders on 42 vision to the rip area of bright green bars. Now, in today's volatility, our SPY bot sent out a bull indicator since 8:25 a.m. and from that moment forward, inflows crossed the midpoint to the upside, full strength there on 42 vision, into the bell and after the bell, and call options went up 400% plus within an hour, guys. As you see there popping up within the screen, within the options chain, some options even went higher than that. If you guys want to receive this clarity and edge over the charts, you can now gain access to it as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicators, getting connected over to our bots, and becoming part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together by receiving this clarity and edge over the charts and using these resources to maximize in either direction, whether stocks are going up or going down. So here we are with the SPY stock S&P 500 having a full move up towards key resistance levels. We need to talk about what's going on here within the charts as it approaches a key level here of resistance. But before we do, I want to share with you guys the home run opportunity that was mentioned this morning over at the Discord. So the home run of the day was spectacular and beyond expectations. And if you guys want to know about these stocks early on and receive this clarity and edge of the charts, you can now gain access to it as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicators, getting connected over to our bots and becoming part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together. So the home run of the day was from our Netflix spot. Our Netflix spot sent out a bull indicator since 4:31 a.m. and from that moment forward, inflows crossed the midpoint to the upside, full strength there on 42 vision, into the bell and after the bell, and call options went up 300% plus within hours, guys. If you guys want to receive this clarity and edge of the charts, you can now gain access to it as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicators, getting connected over to our bots. We look forward to having you join us, and we strive for opportunities like these every single day. Let's jump into these charts. So here we are with the SPY doing a full transition from the rip area yesterday at the open to the dip area in the after hours and back up to the rip area. Consecutive strength here throughout the day. Everything that was lost yesterday back up towards it, and we need to talk about what to look for going into tomorrow. And if this is your first time coming across the channel, this is 42 vision, which allows us to see the dips from the rips to the dips, and where the strength and weakness lies within the charts. And we also use our bull and bear indicators and inflow versus outflow as an extra layer of confirmation, which I'm going to pull up here and you can now gain access to as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicator, getting connected over to our bots and becoming part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together by receiving this clarity and edge over the charts and using these resources to maximize in either direction, whether stocks are going up or going down. And in today's video, I'm going to pull up the inflow versus outflow indicator, which adds that extra layer of confirmation and gives us that edge within the volatility. So here we are with the SPY, the S&P 500 index under a bull indicator on the 30-minute chart, and the inflows back above the midpoint. We talked about this in yesterday's video. If it could hold support and get itself back up towards 410, it was going to be critical to break through it. It did. It found support there and did the next leg up towards 413, coming back up to the highs of yesterday in the pre-market and breaking through the resistance of 412 that followed 410. Now we need to talk about what it is I would watch going into tomorrow, into the end of this week at these new levels. I mean, this has been a pretty big move in just one day. Could it continue? That's what we're going to talk about here in today's chart. So the first thing is inflows are back above the midpoint. We are under a bull indicator, but we are at bright green bars. A full transition has happened on 42 vision, and eventually there is an exhaustion point, right? It could continue though, but it's going to depend on these outflows stopping, leveling off, and keeping the inflows above the midpoint and going back up and switching from red to green. I think that's going to be crucial. That's going to be critical. And these outflows right now are currently sitting at 1.66. Even though it's above the midpoint, it's still strong, but we need it to switch from red to green, guys. It's going to be crucial for this to find support, pull away from the midpoint, and continue upwards and have this bull indicator still in effect. Because if this were to cross or go lower, it could quickly start to reflect into the chart and possibly cancel out this bull indicator with a bear indicator, okay? That is something to keep in mind. And look what happened last time, which was literally yesterday at around 410.79 to be exact. That bear indicator popped up. Those outflows had crossed slightly before it, and then things went all the way down to 408, came back up and rejected and went down towards the 407 area. Now, it's not guaranteed to make the same exact move, but something to not ignore. Now, today in the pre-market, there was a lot of strength here leading up to the bell and those inflows crossing over before the bell and then followed by that bull indicator. Multiple confirmations today, not just on the 30-minute, but also the 15-minute since the open and the 5-minute. This bull indicator here going into the bell at around 8:30 a.m., which was our SPY bot notification, and those inflows staying above all day, above the midpoint in full strength there. There was a little bit of consolidation that was a little tight there, but it found support at 408.80. It literally double bottomed, went up to 410, held above 410 up here, and continued slowly to go higher to new resistance levels, right? That was the strength of today. That's how things moved, and it was crucial for those inflows to cross back over. As we talked about yesterday, the resistance was 410, 412, and then came 413. Now, if this continues to hold going into tomorrow, the first resistance is going to be the same one we talked about yesterday, right? 412 and then 415, guys. That's going to be crucial, but it all comes down to these inflows staying above the midpoint. And something that we looked at yesterday was the bigger picture. And when you zoomed out here on the 4-hour within the volatility, we did have inflows that were green, guys. That was crucial to not ignore in the bigger picture because it was under a bull indicator and no bear indicator here, and inflows were dominating. We broke that down in yesterday's video, and look what happened, right? These inflows stayed above the midpoint. They slightly went red. They turned back green, and we're at highs here of 4.5 and currently sitting, to be exact, 4.48. For there to be any further strength to the upside from where we're at right now and going up to that next resistance of 415 or higher, it's going to be crucial for these inflows to continue pushing up and staying above the midpoint here on the bigger picture. That is something to not ignore and overlook here, because that is something that we talked about in yesterday's video, how crucial it was for these inflows to stay above the midpoint, and the fact that there was some volatility on the lower time frames, but this was still under a bull indicator. Now, when we zoomed into the 1 hour, which is a larger time frame as well, it was under a bear indicator. It was below the midpoint here on these outflows dominating, but today in the pre-market, it switched from red to green, as we talked about in yesterday's video, and started to push up towards the midpoint and actually ended up crossing it here after the open. Got a bull indicator at around 409, canceling yesterday's bear indicator and continuing that leg up back towards resistance of those highs of 413, 413.80 mark, okay? That is crucial. That is critical right now because we are back above the midpoint and at some of the highest inflows that we've seen since way back here on April 4th when things were around 412, and it's sitting right now at around 5.1. Now, the next highest point above that was back here on March 31st at inflows of 6.54. It's not guaranteed to go in that direction or reach it or stop at it. It could go higher if it wants, but it is something to watch and not ignore and overlook here, that there's some room here based off the history of the chart to go higher. But we are pretty high here on the inflows from the previous highs of 6.54, currently sitting at 5.1 to be exact here on the 1 hour. Now, for this strength to continue, we want these inflows to stay above and we want them to stay green. Now, within the volatility, when we zoom in on the 15-minute, we do have outflows trying to reach the midpoint, but we're still above the midpoint here with inflows dominating, even though it's red, sitting at 0.38. This is going to be crucial going into tomorrow, and that's the first thing I would watch for these inflows to pick back up, because if it does not and it crosses to the downside, that can reflect quickly into the chart and eventually cancel out this bull indicator with a possible bear indicator, okay? That is something to not ignore, and I would not overlook that. That is something to watch very carefully here on the volatility for tomorrow, because this is a really close one, but if it could bring itself up and find support, or even if it slightly crosses it but comes right back up, I'm going to be watching for that here on the inflows on the 15-minute, as it's so close to the midpoint as we see it, and it could be the setup, as I call it, for the next leg up, right? Those slight pullbacks are not setbacks, if not setups, for the next bull run, right? That's what I like to call those if there's a support that is found. Now, if you look at it on the 30-minute and we zoom back in from the 1 hour to the 30-minute, yes, there's a bull indicator, but same thing, guys. The 15-minute is closer, but the 30-minute is heading in the same direction, right? Going downwards, sitting at 1.66. It's going to be crucial for it to find support, level off, and go higher, and go from red to green, pull away from that midpoint, not cross it, and continue the staircase effect to the upside. Now, the first support level here from these levels is going to be 412. Then below that comes 410, and then 408. Now, to the upside, if this bull indicator continues strong, no bear indicator, these outflows slow down and inflows continue to dominate, and we continue to see strength on the 30-minute as well as here on the 15-minute to pull back up and reflect that strength to the upside. The first resistance is 415. Then above that, it's a really tight spot, 416. If that gets broken through based off the history of the chart, then comes 418 area. And if that gets broken through, we'll have to then reassess at those levels. But right now, those are the key levels I'm watching to the upside and to the downside. These inflow versus outflows are crucial right now here on the 30-minute as well as on the 15-minute. They're really close to the midpoint and green. It's going to be crucial for those inflows to switch to green and pull upwards away from the midpoint to hold these bull indicators true and not get canceled by bear indicators. So I'm going to be watching these inflow versus outflows and bull and bear indicators very carefully. And as always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.